Every year in the NBA draft, tons of amazing players are overlooked and end up falling out of the top 60 selections. So in today's video, I'm looking at the best undrafted player from each draft class since 2010. Starting off with 2010, the best undrafted NBA player from this class is Jeremy Lin. Because over the course of his career, he averaged 11.6 points and 4.3 assists in only 25 minutes a game, and probably the most impressive part of his NBA career was his breakout games in 2011 that shocked the entire league and made him a household name. And then in 2019, he became the first Asian American to win an NBA championship, and in my eyes, pretty much solidified the spot as the best undrafted player from his class. For the 2011 draft class, I'm going with Justin Holiday from the Kings as the best. This class doesn't have a ton of undrafted guys that became good players, but Holiday has had a pretty solid career. He's bounced around the league quite a bit playing for 11 teams, but his averages of 9 points and 3 assists in 25 minutes a game is pretty solid. And he also won an NBA championship with the Warriors in 2015, which helped lead to a larger role with the Bulls and Pacers afterwards, where he was able to contribute more. The 2012 class is another that just didn't have that many undrafted players that panned out well in the league, but I'm going with Kent Bazemore as the best. Bazemore plays for the LA Lakers, and he's averaged 8 points, 3 boards, and 1 steal in 20 minutes over the course of his 10-year career. And although he hasn't become a superstar in the league, he does play his role really well, and he'll be looking to help the Lakers win another ring next season. 2013 has proven to be a much better year for undrafted guys. Seth Curry, Robert Covington, Daniel Tice, and Dwayne Dedmon have all found success in the league, but I'm going to have to go with Covington as the best. Now, it is a pretty close call between Seth Curry and him, but Covington has averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds per game while also being a top defender in the league. And in 2018, playing for the 76ers, he was chosen for the NBA All-Defensive First Team, which is a major accomplishment for someone not even picked in the draft. So I'm going to have to go with him here. Moving on to 2014, there's also a lot of players to choose from, including Langston Galloway, Maxi Kleber, Torrey Craig, and Kem Birch. But out of them all, I think Galloway has had the best career. During his rookie year, he was awarded to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team after not even being selected in the draft, and then he averaged 8 points and 2.5 rebounds from 2014 up until 2021. And even though some of the other undrafted players in this class are still currently playing, I have Galloway as the best because making the all-rookie team after not being picked in the draft is very impressive, and he was a great role player for the 7 teams that he played for. 2015 has probably the second best undrafted player in this video in Christian Wood. Wood has crushed everyone's expectations over the past 4 seasons, where he's averaged 17 points and 8 rebounds per game while playing for 3 different teams. But going into next year, he's playing with the Mavs, and he has the chance to help lead them to the finals and become known as one of the top centers in the game. The best undrafted player of 2016 is Fred VanVleet. And not only is he the best of recent undrafted players, he's one of the greatest ever. He's an NBA champion and an All-Star, and this past season for the Raptors, he averaged 20 points and 7 assists per game. And although he blows away the competition at this spot, a couple guys worth mentioning as well are Alex Caruso, Bryn Forbes, and Gary Payton II, who are also now all NBA champions that had a big impact on their teams. On to 2017, which is another draft class that doesn't have too many undrafted guys, with the list coming down to just Chris Boucher and Luke Cornett, and I have Boucher taking this spot as the best. Over his career, he's averaged 9 points and 5 rebounds in a little under 18 minutes a game, and after a couple of years in the G League, he's just recently found a good role in the Raptors, and he's developing into one of their best two-way players. Kendrick Nunn, Drew Eubanks, and Jordan McLaughlin are all undrafted players that have become good contributors, but the best from the 2018 class has to be Duncan Robinson. Over the past 4 years for the Heat, he has averaged 12 points and 3 rebounds per game, and is mainly known around the league as a knockdown three-point shooter, shooting 40%. And he just signed a $90 million 5-year deal with the Heat last year, so he also has a really bright future ahead of him. The 2019 class can go a couple different ways with Max Strus, Naz Reid, and Caleb Martin all going undrafted, but in my opinion, Naz Reid takes the title as the best. Playing for the Timberwolves, he has averaged 10 points and 4 rebounds per season while being a very consistent scorer and defender for them. But even though I do have Reid as a top player right now, Max Strus from the Heat really showed out during the playoffs, averaging 11 and 4, and it looks like he'll be receiving a larger role in the future, which could potentially make him the better player. Since the 2020 draft was so recent, it's hard to decide who's the best out of the undrafted guys, but I'm going with Lamar Stevens from the Cavaliers. Stevens is kind of under the radar right now and doesn't get much attention, but his defense is spectacular, and he's also developing into a scoring threat, so he has the abilities to become very good. And the last 2 years, he's only averaged 5 points and 3 rebounds per game, but he's had some impressive performances when he's given more minutes. So it'll really be interesting to see if he can take another step next season and solidify himself as the best undrafted player from this class. Very similar to 2020, the 2021 class doesn't have many stats to go off of, but looking at this season, Austin Reeves and Dwayne Washington Jr. are two players that have shined for their teams. Since they played similar roles for their teams though, and their averages are pretty close, it's too early for me to choose one or the other as the best yet. But they both have bright futures ahead of them, and I'm intrigued to see which of them is able to jump out as the best, or if it'll be a different player that hasn't found a role just yet. Well, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day.